Hey everyone, welcome to episode 4 of this 5-part driving series, where now we are starting to look at power. How to create power, things that might be limiting the power that you are generating, and also things you can practice in the garden to try and increase a bit more speed. As we know, speed can be really important in terms of creating greater distance with our drives, which can ultimately mean that we are hitting shorter clubs as well into the green. So lots of benefits to creating a bit more speed, and also just interesting to find out how we can try and generate a bit more power that we generally have inside our bodies, but we aren't quite tapping into. So one reason that lots of amateur golfers don't reach their full potential with the power is because they will not actually put the power into the club itself. Now, this will make a bit more sense in a minute, but what often happens is we have the potential to create a lot more power, but we kind of hold the energy within our body and we don't put it outwards. So if we think about any kind of motion where we're trying to put power out, if someone was casting a fishing rod, this action of this throw is when the power comes from our bodies outward into the casting the line. If we were throwing a dart, again, there has to be a release when that goes. Any kind of thing when we are putting energy outwards. So when we put it in terms of golf, what we can start to see now, if you look at this little drill here, I'll switch around so there's not much weight in the club itself. But what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to keep the power, the stored energy in my body. So as I'm throwing, as I'm coming around, you see my hand is traveling quite fast, but there's no power. The club head, if it's on the end, wouldn't be hitting the ball very far because I'm holding onto it. I'm not releasing. So now all I'm going to do is my hand is still traveling the same sort of speed, but now there's a lot more energy outwards and you can hear it in the club versus. So what you'll see within that is that my hand is traveling about the same speed both times. So the energy hasn't changed in terms of my potential energy. What I've done is in the release, in the throw, is I've put the energy into the club head. Now obviously we hit the club head is going to be hitting the ball, so we really need to be putting the energy outwards into the club head to try and generate that speed. If we see people trying to hit the ball hard by pulling the club down and hitting, that energy is not being thrown. So what you really want to try and do is get in the habit of getting this nice relaxed feeling, this flimsier kind of motion with the club itself, where there's lots of energy in the club head, and then start to build it up. So this first part, before we move on to the second video, is going to be really based around now trying to create some nice relaxed motion. So if we're looking at grip pressure, 10 out of 10 would be strangling the club. That's going to make it very hard in terms of releasing it. 1 might be too loose. Go for somewhere around 5. So find something that's comfortable around a 5 out of 10 grip pressure. Start off with some of these small little motions first. Just literally trying to flick, and then add a little bit more and see if you can just create some whip first of all. What I'd also encourage would be to have a go at this drill that I showed you earlier. Switch the club around, get something nice and light, use a drill stick if you want, but just hinge the wrist. Now throw the club head with the club, and you'll see how the hand's traveling quite fast, and then try and have a go throwing it, and you'll see how the power is quicker. So give that a go first of all. This is the introduction to the second part of the video, where we're going to then have a look at using our bigger muscles and adding both of those things together to try and generate a lot more speed. Hope that helps. Stay safe. Keep your eyes peeled for the next video where we will be developing this further.